This is going to attract bees, and you're putting a bridge over a pond. There's going to be people that don't want to walk to your front door. And he goes, that's okay. I won't tell you exactly what he said, but he said they can use the garage.
What does the pooch think of the fish outside?
So when it's feeding time, she will sit on those rocks and try to bite them.
What's harder to maintain, the saltwater 120-gallon tank or the Aquascape pond?
By far the saltwater. It takes me every other Saturday about 4 hours. The pond, a half hour a weekend.
Aquascape lifestyle. What a cool rock mountain. All right, Mr. Holdeman, this is a customer that your son sold, right?
Parker sold it.
How old is Parker now?
23.
23, and he's selling half the jobs and you're selling the other half?
Roughly, yeah.
All right, so I'm Greg Wittstock, the Pond Guy. This is my channel, Greg Wittstock, the Pond Guy. And are we in Phoenix? Where are we at?
We're in Fountain Hills.
Fountain Hills, Arizona, a suburb of Phoenix. This guy's a saltwater aquarium buff, huh? That's how he found you?
My understanding from the notes is that, yeah, he was into saltwater aquariums and decided he wanted a koi pond.
That's my kind of guy. So not only are we going to see an ecosystem pond, we might see some saltwater tanks. Stay tuned.
Wait till you see this.
So everything that built the pond came through here.
Came through here. Yep. We go right at it. Come back around this way, and then there was no way to get at it from here, so we had to come on the patio and go down these steps. Hi there. This was not here. He built this after the pond.
I love this. It's a little sanctuary, man. Everything to build this came all the way from up there.
Yeah.
Wow, nice deep pond too.
He's on the wildlife corridor. There's a lot of different animals coming through this water.
Oh yeah.
So we wanted something the fish would be able to survive in despite raccoons, bobcats.
How you doing?
Good to see you.
Hi, Ken, and the Pond Guy, Greg.
Hey, Greg. Love your videos.
This is awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, just finished.
Yeah, this looks great.
Well, it's a perfect for out here, you know, in the heat. This has been in for
1 year now.
okay. So
I would say about 1 year.
how would you describe, Ken, living the aquascape lifestyle?
I absolutely love it. Right here, you can see where that chair is facing.
Yes.
That's where I spend the majority of my time.
I can see why. And man, the plants have really taken off. Look at this papyrus here, just growing up.
Everything has been lush, no fatalities. You know, you were talking about wildlife, coyotes, javelina, rattlesnakes, and king snakes.
So people don't like snakes, but I think they're cool, Paul.
Snakes, man. Cool.
The king snakes are great. The one rattler never came up here, and as soon as the dog started barking, he slithered back away. But javelina families run through here all the time.
Yeah, they need water, and we're in a desert. So I heard the challenges of building this. Was it pretty fun to watch those guys go all the way around? And
I felt sorry for his guys with wheelbarrows up these ramps and the boulders back, getting the boulders in and everything. So.
Ken, I have a question for you. Do you have a saltwater tank inside?
I do.
Can I see it?
Oh, sure.
Is it filled with frags or just fish or what?
Right now it's fish. The one in the office has all the frags, the coral in.
That's kind of what started you on this journey, right?
Well, I've been a freshwater fish tank person, 8-foot tanks.
Wow.
For the majority of my young life, and now saltwater was the first time I attempted that. But this area here was all rock. It had a palm tree right in the middle and a bunch of purple scrub right there. I had entertained doing it myself, and after the first pickaxe, I called him. But before we go do that, I do want to have a conversation, because you see where the black rock is, the kind of false little... I would love to put a pond on the lower level and have this pond feed it through a waterfall.
You want to expand it already, right?
Looking forward to talking about that.
The average consumer gets 3 water features. Big, bigger, biggest. This has been here for a year, and he wants to expand it from up here to also down there. Wow, that is gorgeous. Look at those guys.
You see the algae explosion I'm having?
A little bit, yeah. So what's harder to maintain? The saltwater 120-gallon tank or the Aquascape pond?
By far the saltwater. It takes me every other Saturday about 4 hours. The pond, a half hour a weekend.
But it is therapeutic to work in this, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
You're at a computer terminal. And what is that, a filefish?
It is. It's a tonsil filefish.
Wow, that is cool. It's got a lot of personality too, I can tell.
Great. There's a dog-faced boxer right here and a lionfish. My design's probably a little bit off because I can't for some reason. I got an automatic fill so that it will spill over and fill when it evaporates. Got a skimmer in there, carbon reactor,
Yep.
a UV light.
Yep, you're replicating the ocean. And when you're doing a pond, it's much easier because it rains a little bit, great. Not in the ocean, you change 2 degrees in here, you got a major problem. You change 2 degrees in your pond, no big deal.
Yeah, saltwater was really intimidating at first, but once you get used to it, the chemistry, everything is easy. I just, for whatever reason, have too much nutrient in water, and it's creating the algae bloom.
Hey. What does the pooch think of the fish outside?
So when it's feeding time, she will sit on those rocks and try to bite them. She never succeeds, but she tries. And she fell in once.
And that was it. She learned once after falling in once. Look at the edging. It's the plants that soften it up. So you got some rocks, then you have this canna over here. You got some Louisiana iris, yellow iris, some purple iris. That jealous is blooming right here. Breaks up the monotony all the way around. That's natural right there, just like that. But it doesn't have the ring of pearls look. And then of course, we're gonna come back and this is gonna be a pond the next time I come visit Ken, another year or two from now.
You don't want to disrupt the view either.
Well, that's a beautiful view. And to have this in the foreground, I mean, you would spend hours here in these seats. If this wasn't here, you wouldn't spend that much time.
So in the morning, when you're sitting here and the waterfall to the pool's on, it looks like all one.
Oh yeah, I can see that's where the waterfall is in the pool. It comes up in here. So this is Parker's design though, huh?
Parker and I collaborated on it.
It's a great backyard, but it just changes the space. So what town are we in now, Paul?
We're still in Fountain Hill.
This is a beautiful area, and this is a 15-year-old water feature. You put this 15 years ago?
It's 15 years ago we built this.
That is
Same
awesome.
time the house was being built, they had to build a walkway over the top. And when I first sold this, I said, this is going to attract bees, and you're putting a bridge over a pond. There's going to be people that don't want to walk to your front door. And he goes, that's okay. I won't tell you exactly what he said. But he said they can use the garage.
I can hear it. This is beautiful. So it's right in the front yard, in the front of the house.
You got to walk over it to get to the front door.
Oh, I love that. 15-year-old Aquascape ecosystem pond out here in the desert, and I love whatever this plant is around here. It just softens it up. It's even flowering. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Cool spot. And look at all those bees, just like you told them.
Told him there'd be bees, and by gosh, there's bees.
And there's bees, and we need bees, and bees need water. And so they don't bother you either. Don't think bees bother you. Look at the beautiful water lilies, the fish. This is just spectacular. I love the reflections of water lilies on the bottom. You can see that. Fish dancing and darting. Goes right underneath here. Comes up, and just look at how gorgeous that is. What is this vine type plant here?
This is Yerba Manza. It's a native to Arizona, and so we use a lot of it because it likes it here, of course.
Likes the water.
It's a wetland plant native to the Arizona area, which we don't have a whole lot of water garden plants that are native to here.
Hello?
How you doing?
George!
How are you?
George, I'm the pond guy, Greg.
Yes, how are you? I recognize you from your videos.
Awesome. I was hearing the story of this 15 years ago when you were building the house. You met with the builder out here.
Well, yes, he came out and I researched how to build the best pond. We've never changed the water in this pond once.
So it's not been cleaned out, huh?
It's been
We've never done a complete clean out on this.
it's been a self-maintaining. We're gone for 3.5 months.
Okay, sure.
Every summer, we don't feed them during that period. area. And as a child, teenager growing up in Brooklyn,
Okay, I can hear the accent.
I had tropical fish, and my dream in building this house was to bring that hobby here, even though we really didn't have a lot of room. We put it in here, and people comment on it. We sit out here on the bench and just relax.
You and your wife.
Yes.
Oh, buddy, it is beautiful. I love the plants. It's just such a neat entrance to the house. There's nothing that you could put at the entrance of this house that would make more of an impact than this. And you kind of saw that. And then the builder bought in after you visited some of Paul's work, I heard.
And we designed it with this in mind, how we were going to do it. We didn't have a lot of space. We had to do it with the bridge, but thanks to Paul and his people, it worked out beautiful.
We just determined that this was 18 years old. It wasn't 15 years old. He's been here for 18 years. Paul said this is one of the more technical jobs that he did back then. Look at that. I mean, that is just paradise right at the entrance. And I love the fact that he said if people don't like bees, they can go in through the garage. You know what? It's pretty awesome. And he said he put a dozen koi in there 18 years ago, and he still got 5 of the originals. Not bad. Not the fanciest koi in the world, but you know what? He enjoys it. The wildlife enjoys it. And the fact that he's living the aquascape lifestyle out here in the desert, I love that. If you're interested in living the aquascape lifestyle, check out the link below to find a certified aquascape contractor just like Paul. I and Paul love our jobs.